You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Odie, Maury, Sody, Maury,
Maury Sody, Maury Sody.
black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh,
Yes, Mo?
are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm kind of tired. Been very lethargic recently. But otherwise, I mean, I'm here. I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
Thriving under the world's worst circumstances.
I thought you were about to say under duress.
No. I mean, kind of. We're under duress right now. It's a freaking parallelogram.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more variants are being created by the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't look like Jonathan Majors. So.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. I am also mad tired. One of my friends just got their booster shot, and they were saying how like out of it they are, like lethargic and just like kind of just tired and stuff. And I went to go see them before this recording, and I think I caught their lethargy. Yes.
I'm not sure that lethargy is just contagious.
Everything is contagious in the air right now until it's not. Okay?
True. Also, we have to go schedule our booster shots.
Yes.
We should do that this week.
Yes, we should schedule it this week. I agree.
All right, are you ready to jump into things?
Well, who are we? And what is this?
I was on a roll, actually. I was on a roll.
You were.
Hi, everyone. I'm Odie.
And I'm Maurice.
And this is the Black and Snurdy podcast. And before we do actually jump into our regularly scheduled programming, I want to give a rest in peace to Nick Cannon's youngest son, Zen.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away at 5 months old from a brain tumor, which is, obviously horrifying in any age, but a 5-month-old, it's terribly sad.
Yeah.
And also former NFL receiver Demaryius Thomas passed away in his home at 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
His birthday is on Christmas, which is only like a few weeks away, so that's really sad.
Unfortunate.
So sending our love and condolences to all the, everyone that's been impacted by these passings, and hopefully that
The family and friends and
everyone,
you
know, that
and
you have
everyone.
this community around you that to support you during this time, because, grief is definitely not fun, and especially now during the holidays, regardless of if you celebrate any holidays that come around during this time of year, it's always really sad when someone passes during this time, just because, it's a constant bombardment of like family together, and when you're grieving, that's sometimes
that just makes it hard.
Yeah,
that makes the grieving process that much harder to deal with.
Yeah,
when you're constantly bombarded with all of these reminders and triggers. So I get it.
So sending our love to everyone.
Same here. I'm also sending my love.
And yeah, so now we're going to jump into things. It never gets old.
Yeah.
Every time I hear my voice after, I'm like,
it's a little cackle out of me.
So shall we start with good news?
Yes, we should.
Okay, I'm going to just give you a forewarning that the news is a bit mixed up this week, and I will not tell you that I found more good than I did bad. So
yeah,
the the fun list is gonna be kind of short. Well, congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion. She is graduating this weekend from Texas Southern University with a bachelor's degree in health administration.
That's fantastic news.
We're really excited for her. She's a hottie with brains and a body, and we love that. Well-rounded, that you can do anything, and it doesn't matter what you look like, how you dress, how you sound, where you're from. You know, education's important, and if you can get your education, go do it. And in your education can come in many different ways.
Yeah.
You don't just have to go to a 4-year school. There's trade schools, 2-year colleges, apprenticeships. Really, the sky's the limit. But just, become an expert in something.
And now she has a double degree.
What is the double degree?
Because now what did you say her degree is that she just got?
It's in health administration.
Health administration, and her degree in being a badass motherfucker. Because she is dope as fuck, and it's great that she's gotten she's gotten she sought higher education, and she got a degree from it.
Yes, and may I add, she had so many different things happen during her time of her matriculation. Her mom passed, her grandmother passed, she was shot by some stupid troll. Just a lot of things going on. Her label giving her a lot of grief. So grateful that she's been able to persevere throughout this time. She's graduating and setting an example for all of us. So congratulations to her.
Shout out to her. Special shout out to her.
Now this is where things I told you it was going to be a short, good list. This is where it starts to get weird and
one
wonky.
thing.
I won't.
Is it a list or a bullet point?
Well, I can't really say whether this is a good or a bad thing. This is like a medium thing. Okay. So we all know who Letitia Wright is. Letitia Wright is the Wakanda Forever, Shuri, Black Panther. Our fave.
What are those? Yeah.
we love her. However, in recent years, that she's gotten some controversy because she's been kind of retweeting, reposting, and co-signing some very interesting photeps and photep-like characters in the UK. Now, most recently, during the time of the panacea, there have been rumors that she's been very anti-vax. I believe she did retweet some sort of COVID deniers, if my memory stands correct. So this week, for whatever reason, people have been commenting that she is not going to be a part of Black Panther anymore due to vaccine mandates. However, that has not been proven true. Kevin Feige, thank you. I always mispronounce that. Has not reported anything. I went around looking, and everything that I found has just stated that she is still going to be out here shirring it up, being sassy, and perhaps a Black Panther. We don't know.
Yeah, because we're still not sure what the story is. They're not recasting.
They're not. We know for sure they have announced they're not They're not going to do that. Which, I mean, it's fine. She's going to be Black Panther in the comics. Yeah. So let her be Black Panther. Who cares? But
as long as we see more of the Dora Milaje.
Exactly.
That's what
And we know that Michaela Cole's going to be in there somewhere because she's been bald for a real long time.
She really.
And she looks gorgeous.
She looks great. Yeah,
every time.
She's been
I
bald.
love it.
She looks fucking.
Oh no, I mean I was saying that she's been bald, but it's just like she's not in a disparaging way, but it's fact like what other character is she gonna play in Black Panther?
She makes it cool to be bald. Like that's why that's not genetics.
That's why you're bald.
Genetics is why I'm bald.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see what she's in there doing, but curious as to what one. I hope that whatever that injury that Letitia Wright sustained months ago, which is the reason why they said that the filming was delayed for Black Panther originally. Hopefully that is healing up properly. I think this is just another rumor that people, because allegedly there's been some petitions being signed about people wanting her off the set and being replaced if she doesn't want to do the vaccine.
I don't know if that's alleged. I'm pretty sure I saw. Like,
no, it's not alleged.
It
is running around.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are these some white boys trolling? Because you know they love to do that, and just trying to take some of her past comments and use them against her. Because honestly, when I saw this trending today, I didn't say to myself, that sounds preposterous. She's said a bunch of things in the past that have that could lead me to saying, yeah, sure, totally understand her knowingly saying these things. But I'm glad that she still so far is in the production. Hope that she is healing up well, and that she is making the fact-based, science-based decisions that are going to be the best thing for her health.
Yeah.
But definitely, hopefully, that they're real scientist-based facts.
Not science fiction, because that's not... I know that's the genre that your movie is, but that's not applicable to all things. There's still like science reality.
Yes, and speaking of
science nonfiction, no.
Speaking of people being based in reality, let me share with you something that L.A. Reid said on the show The Real. Was it The Real or The Talk?
It's one of them.
It was The Real. They're talking, they're chatting, da 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 da, and the founder of LaFace Records says that he would really like Beyonce to go against Mariah Carey for a versus battle. And this is what he said, and I quote, "The fans they both have, the hits they have, the legacies they both have. Bey is the queen, right? Sometimes, Bey is the queen, right? Sometimes Mariah might be slightly underrated for her long career, for how long her career has lasted, how many hits she has, and she practically owns Christmas. So I don't know. I think that would be a good one." Now, this is where I'm confused.
Have you heard that song yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't heard it for like the whole for real thing, but I've literally heard it in every TikTok of people being like, pretending to be Mariah and going into it.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it out already.
I mean, I fucking love that song. I want to hear it all year round.
I
don't care.
I mean, I do love the song. I don't want to hear it all year round.
I mean, I
only
personally
really
love that
it.
song. So
I love the song too, but like to hear it all the time. I've been in customer service, so I have to be I grew up in stores around Christmas time. Where they would play that song on the loop, and it would play throughout the day, all day, every day. And imagine you're listening to imagine you're getting chewed out by a customer because something is out of stock, even though like they thought that they called and said that it was in stock, and even though it's a fucking Nintendo Wii, so of course it's not gonna be in stock for so long. And then you're getting berated and blasted at, and you're a teenager, mind you. This is a grown ass person, a grown ass human being deciding that they're going to spend some time out of their day to chastise a small, like basically like still a child who's just wearing a little red shirt and just being like, "I'm sorry, there's nothing you could do, like we're out of stock." And all you're hearing in the background is just like, "I don't want for Christmas," like your humiliation and your just like lack of patience is being scored to by Mariah Carey. That's the soundtrack.
I can understand why someone who deal with that
for years
would have some bias. But I would think if I worked in the store, I feel like compared to some other Christmas songs, that one to me is a better Christmas song. But I'm very confused as to why he said anything about Mariah Carey being underrated. When is Mariah Carey ever seen as underrated?
Do you think that the kids nowadays are listening to Mariah Carey like that?
I think that kids these days are listening to Mariah Carey the same way that I was listening to Mariah. I mean, Mariah Carey was, I guess, when we were in middle school, she was at the top of the charts.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, I used to listen to like artists from the 80s.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to artists from the 70s and the freaking 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So I
we
know.
were literally just talking about how someone else in this house was listening to Fall Out Boys. And shit like
she has my high school soundtrack literally on repeat all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. It's Fall Out Boy and I Write Sins Not Tragedies. I mean, it's that's my go-to song. So I'm always happy to hear it. I think the kids, like, it's just whatever genre they're into. If they know Mariah Carey by All I Want for Christmas, they're going to probably if they're in Apple Music or Spotify, it's going to give you other songs by her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you have the luxury of having someone's whole entire discography at your fingertips for free.
Yeah.
We had that in limited ways because you would have had to go, if you were on LimeWire, you could have gotten somebody's whole entire discography.
We were a bear share.
You were bear share house.
Yeah, so it was just the more quality to find. Because, like, LimeWire for me, all I could get was, like, the fucking radio rips of it. So it's just like, DJ! Just like DJs and gunfires and shit on these songs. I'm just like, no, I want the actual.
I did like bear share more because you got less. You got
viruses.
less viruses.
Yeah.
But like you could
still
get
got
that.
viruses.
You still got them. You just got less.
Less of them.
But it was like with that, that's how I got all the Dinah Washington and Billie Holiday and stuff to listen to when I was in high school, was because I was just downloading stuff. And now you don't have to worry about that. You can, if you have Spotify, even if it's free Spotify, you are going to be able to listen to all the different music. If you go on YouTube and you listen to one song, it's going to directly show you the other ones. Yeah. So I definitely don't believe that anyone could see her as being overrated, especially because it's like
underrated. You mean?
Or sorry, underrated. Because everyone knows her as an iconic diva. I feel like she is to the younger generation what like Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle was to us when we were younger. Because how old is Mariah Carey now? She's 50? Or 40?
She has to be
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Late 40s, early 50s, I'm going to guess. Cuz she was 18 when
she came out in like the
80s. Was she late 80s or was she early 90s?
She was born in 69. My mom was born in 59. So she is 53.
Okay,
or
so
52.
Okay, 52.
So when we were like in elementary or middle school, Patti LaBelle or Aretha Franklin, they were probably around those ages. Mm-hmm. And I knew of Aretha Franklin. I knew of the Patti LaBelle, the songs that they would sing. You know, whether it was because you see them all the time and you know them as these iconic little divas. Now, I can't say the same thing for some other women who were around the same time as Mariah Carey. The only other person who was Mariah Carey's peer, again, why this is a weird pairing for her and Beyonce, was Whitney Houston.
Okay.
To me, like, who else is going to go against her besides Whitney Houston? Remember when they did that whole thing at the MTV Music Awards where they were ripping off the dresses to see which one was going to be different because both of them looked the same? Like, that's the only person to go against her. And I can't think of somebody to go against Beyonce, but nobody needs to. Nobody, like, what is the point? And versus, first of all,
what is the point?
After this last versus, did we talk about versus last time?
I think
with Busy Bone and the scuffle.
I think we did.
I think we did.
Sounds familiar.
Busy, Bone Thugs and Harmony and
it sounded like you said Bumbles and Harmony.
Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3 6 Mafia had a versus. Busy Bone likes to scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And
he created a kerfuffle.
He did. And these things happened. He apologized. It was very grown up. We moved past it. But I want to say after that one, maybe we should just pause and figure out what are we doing here on the stage? Like, do we need... I liked versus when it was we're all at home, we're all watching, You're in the chat along with Erykah Badu saying random stuff. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have to have, like, even when they were, okay, you're going to make them in person.
Mm-hmm.
I still preferred it better than when you had all these people out there on the crowd. 1,000 people on stage.
So many people on stage.
Now, I can't lie to you and tell you that if they did like a versus mega tour, that I wouldn't want to see this battle face to face. I would want to do that. But I feel like, you know, as the Marion variant comes alive, and then we have to deal with Poseidon, whatever's going to come next in the alphabet, like, because people aren't staying inside. Maybe we should now start to sell people, hey, are you vaxxed up? No. Are you boosted up? No. Are you masked up? No. Well, maybe we should go back to being inside and being 6 feet away from each other. Because at this point, things are getting ridiculous. And I want them to keep making their money. Make your money. Do all that. But maybe we should just figure out a way to do things a little differently.
You don't want no more Shaka Khan performances?
We're not gonna talk about what Auntie had a long night, and it was a lot for her.
So no scuffles, no busy bone scuffles.
It just the last few ones have definitely been very, very interesting.
Yeah,
and not so much in a way. It's been like now. Okay, did you ever watch the Apollo when you were younger?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember when the Apollo had the dancers come out with the ostrich feather things?
No.
Well, they did when we were younger. They had that.
The Showtime dancers?
Yeah, the Showtime dancers would come out.
Yeah.
And then they had the Sandman, and it was like a whole production.
Oh yeah, of course,
right?
Sandman and I remember.
But then when you watch it, when it was, I don't remember when Apollo went off the air.
Probably in
like the 2000s, maybe early 2000s.
Who do you think? I think it was Monique who was the last host, because I know Steve Harvey hosted for a little bit.
He did. I think Monique might have been the last one. When did, I'm about to look it up, Showtime at the Apollo go off the air? Wow.
What?
It was from September 12th, 1987 to May 24th, 2008.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
In 2018, the series returned to on Fox with Steve Harvey hosting. Not surprising.
God,
but
is there anything that he's not doing during the daytime? Like, does he get fucking sleep? Other than telling his employees not to approach him.
Oh goodness. But by the time it ended in 2008, like, the dancers were kind of not there. The Sandman was weird and different. You know, everything, they weren't really rubbing the wood thing anymore.
And you were supposed to boo when they didn't rub the wood.
It just got really convoluted and not at all what it was in the beginning.
It's so passé.
And so now I'm like, versus, is that what it's becoming already? And I feel like because it lost its magic. It was supposed to be something where we were all at together, just like boom, and it's turned into this spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, well, now that the world opened up, and so they had to do the live performances, and that's where you get like 90,000 people who are just bum rushing the stage. And just like everybody's mans is there. Like, yeah, I so that's what it slowly has become. All these sort of not elaborate performances. That's they're
no. The problem is they're not elaborate.
they're it's like an unplugged performance, but like hood unplugged.
It's unplugged and unpracticed is the problem for a lot of them. There's only been a handful of them where you know that they really went through it.
Mm-hmm. And Jadakiss is in
did
every
a set
3
list.
verses.
They did a set list.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure they practiced their moves.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, not so much.
Yeah.
But okay, so enough with the verses.
Yeah, enough of that.
And now on to some white shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Someone tweeted a while back that Black Mirror is not a TV show, it's a documentary.
Yeah, this has been a running thing for a long time, that Black Mirror is just like a documentary of all the bullshit that is currently happening or about to.
Exactly. So your good friend Elon Musk, when he's not taking time and taxpayer money to build spaceships to go to the surface of the galaxy or whatever.
Mm-hmm, sending cars into Pluto's atmosphere.
He is now, he's working on putting neurochips in humans. And he has said
Chips. Gotcha.
That he plans to implant the first microchip in a human next year. It is the Neuralink, a brain interface technology from his brain interface technology company.
But to what end?
He says
the point of it?
The point of it is to help people who are like quadriplegics, tetraplegics, who don't have any use of their body, to be able to move again. Which, to me...
Oh, to move?
Yeah, so they could be able to, like, walk, and so it would be like...
I was thinking, like, it was for communications purposes.
Well, I feel like that is the ultimate goal. Like, he's saying that it's a very noble reason, but what is it saying? All good deeds, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that his intentions are not evil. Like,
yeah.
or just to, first it's going to be like, oh, look, we have it for people who are disabled, so now you can use this to walk and run, da-da-da-da. Amazing. We do need that. And it is not me this time.
Nope, that was me. Shout out to my dad, who is calling me at this time of night.
Do you want to see what he needs?
No. I will call him back on a break.
Okay. But I feel like this is going to go from, yes, let me help you, to, all right, now people are having it just to have it. And then it's like, if you don't have a Neuralink, now you're not going to be able to shop in certain places. The same way as we are working right now, when if you don't have cash, if you don't have a card, you're only using cash, there are some places that won't serve you. And that is just a start. And I'm not going to get all conspiracy theory Kathy over here, but I'm just saying I don't ever want to get to the point where I have to be connected to the internet for me to be able to buy goods and services. And I definitely am not putting anybody's Neuralink in my head. For me to do that, it would have to be like, we're in 2021 right now.
Mm-hmm.
In 2071.
Okay.
If there is a Neuralink.
So 40 years from now?
50 years.
50.
I said 71, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 years from now.
Then I will decide to have one if I deem it so. There's no time. I wouldn't even like with birth control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like, yeah, y'all have had this out for a while, but I still remember when women were dying. My mom to this day would not buy me tampons. If I like lived at the house, she'd be very annoyed because she's like, those cause TSS, toxic shock syndrome, which used to be happening a lot to girls and women and other folks who have periods in the 70s because they hadn't been tested long enough, and it was just a whole thing. So I'm not trusting anybody whose self-driving car has sometimes and still driven into people who the one time, do you remember when the Tesla caught on fire and the guy couldn't get out and he died in his car?
Because it was the self-driving automated car.
Mm-hmm. And he couldn't get it. The windows wouldn't break, so the fire department couldn't get him out. He died in the car, dead.
Mm.
There's too many at this point. It's not even just Tesla.
Technology just
Technology
isn't
in
advanced
general.
enough. It's not advanced enough for it. Like, let's hold off on doing all of this until we've got technology just right. Let's like trial and error this
When
shit.
I can ask Siri a question and she responds first time,
Mhm.
consistently and
Mhm.
accurately, then maybe I'll consider at that point having like a electric door.
Yeah, when a device can say your name correctly without having to spell it a different
Mhm.
way.
There's just
Then,
too many
yeah.
things. There's too many things that go wrong with technology. We are not there yet. We've barely perfected non-technological things.
Mhm.
We still are confused on those.
Yeah, I mean, just how easy is it to break lead off in a pencil?
I was just about to say we haven't even figured out a pencil thing yet.
Yeah.
We still haven't figured
How
not-
like some ink pens just like it'll still have all that fucking ink inside of it, but it won't write to save your fucking life. It just won't stop. Like
even in something simple, plumbing.
yeah,
We still get plumbing confused,
yeah.
and that's something simple.
Oh,
Not
my
simple, but
God.
it's not. It's just you're connecting things to each other and letting the water go through.
Yeah, just like the fucking toilet, like not to get too TMI, but at my house when you flush the toilet, you have to like jiggle the handle just right, as otherwise the water won't fill up in the tank in the back. It'll just keep like going and going and going. And I'm just like, how is it that like
And we've had plumbing for centuries.
we've had it since the fucking aqueducts in Rome,
Before then,
even before then.
Incas and Mayas and every people had. There are so many documents of toilets, and we still haven't figured that shit out. No pun intended. But I'm not doing it. And okay. This is another sciencey thing that I forgot to mention to you. But so this is a wild card. So this is a blind reaction that you're gonna get.
Okay.
Scientists say that they have been able to do a never-before-seen type of replication in organic robots created in a lab using frog cells. Among other things, the findings could have implications for regenerative medicine.
We've had frogs like not motherfucker. Like isn't this just the plot of Jurassic Park?
Well, the thing is it's less Jurassic Park and more Stargate with like the nanobites. This thing is called a xenobot, and it's a programmable organism that is created by assembling stem cells in a petri dish. Now, I think that this sounds like a nanobot to me.
Yeah, that sounds like some nanobot shit.
And I want to say that we have constantly, in all forms of not social media, well, maybe sci-fi media, but whatever, in all science fiction, it has been proven that creating living robots is bad.
Yeah.
Yet here we go. This is like the third story I've read in the last month where we are playing with AI fire.
Yeah.
They created that robot that looks really weird recently, and I hated it. And I wasn't going to bring it up, but this stupid thing, stop making shit. It's not whether you can, it's whether you should. We need to make that distinction.
How many stories of science fiction? I mean, how many stories of science fiction? How many stories within science fiction has there been like, oh, we created these robots, but everything has gone awry, and now the robots are rebelling. Literally, I could name, okay, Terminator, is it Stargate? Not Star. All right, so not Star Wars, although there's some bad robots in Star Wars as well. Star Trek with the fucking Borgs or whatever the fuck they're
But
called.
we didn't create the Borg.
It's still a advanced robotic thing that hates humans and shit.
Actually, did we create the Borg? We might have created the Borg.
Did I already say Terminator?
You did not. You did. But also, what is that one we liked?
Battlestar Galactica.
No. The one that was the parody with Steve.
Oh, from the Orville.
The Orville.
Yes, the Orville as well.
Well, I said Stargate. That has a storyline in there. I mean, there's so many. There's too many to count.
Fucking
where
Superman too, like has a robot in it.
a robot is
iRobot.
well. Well, that's the main
Matrix,
one.
baby, Matrix Resurrection in theaters in a couple weeks.
Oh shit! Damn, I forgot that was coming out soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be on. They're going to HBO Max too, so they're gonna be in IMAX.
Do you want to see it in the theaters?
I would like to see it in IMAX, but I'm not sure if you will be around
Well, could you wait
to see it at all, or to see it in IMAX.
to see it in IMAX with me?
Oh yeah, of course I can wait to see it in IMAX.
Okay, great. So yeah, this just sounds like a terrible idea, and I would like y'all to stop it, because if what's his name gets involved, he's gonna start putting nanobites in his Teslas, and it's just gonna be fucked up. We have Zuckerberg created the metaverse, which sounds terrible and terrifying. We don't need any more technological advances because y'all don't know how to act in general.
Half of technology is just to make porn better anyway. So,
I mean, that's really
like porn and sex.
I really feel like
accessible.
that's really what the incels that are inside Silicon Valley are just there. Like, how can we fap better?
What if we didn't have to drive? Literally every single invention that you can name is probably that.
If we build it, we will fap.
PlayStation 5s.
Just, we don't need all this extra stuff. We don't even have a cure for global warming. Think about that. Think how you're going to clean up the freaking ozone layer and all the other dust and shit that's up there that we haven't figured out what to do with. Oh God, like it's just story after story of terribleness. Do you remember that show, 19 Kids and Counting?
I thought it was 17 kids and counting.
No, they kept having more, so they kept adding them.
Oh, well,
I want to say they might have gotten to 20 kids, but who the hell knows?
That's a fun, not a fun, because none of that sounds fun at all. I'm sorry, but just like all those kids just sounds like a nightmare. But that's a great way to ensure that your show doesn't get canceled.
Well, that's true. Keep having more.
Making sure that you have more and more kids.
Well, the show got canceled anyway because there were too many
kids, too many damn kids.
Well,
I agree.
No, there were too many of the adult children who were kind of causing trouble with their they were having unfortunate legal troubles and allegations. And so one of the kids, who I don't remember if he was charged or alleged of doing something which was the reason of the show got canceled. But Josh Duggar, one of the elder sons, was found guilty of downloading and possessing child sex abuse images on his work computer in May 2019.
Work computer.
Yeah. And then in a unrelated, well, they say it's unrelated, but we don't know. In an unrelated case, his sister in a 2016 case was charged with a child maltreatment investigation. That I guess the only reason we didn't find out about it was because the child was a minor. And it says that the charge faced by Jane Duggar would generally include the allegation that a defendant engaged in conduct creating a substantial risk of serious harm to the physical or mental welfare of a person known by the actor to be a minor. So she faces up to 3 months behind bars and a fine of $1,000. And her brother faces up to 20 years in prison and fines of up to $250,000 for each count.
So he's going away. Like, there's no way that... No, you don't get, like, slapped with this kind of case and then you bounce back or anything like that. Like, or you dodge it and get away with it. No, he's going away.
This is definitely
and
not the first time that this family has had... it might have been him who had the case, but the show finished in 2015 and then the daughter got the charge in 2016. So it could have been something that happened with someone was the reason why the show was canceled. But You know how I feel about people who are sexual abusers or who harm children. Right. So whatever he gets, he gets. This is again another one of those cases where I am constantly having my abolitionist button pushed, because we still don't have the answers, or I don't have the answers of what should be done with people who are harming children in this way. I definitely think they should have to pay restitution, especially when they have this kind of money. Him and anyone involved should have to pay the families for that sort of just the harm that's caused, because I can't imagine what that might be like for a child to have gone through something and then knowing that they're getting, even with you getting paid, just the thought that every time you receive a check, it's because someone viewed your, one of the most horrible things to happen to you is still, I think, re-traumatizing in a different way. But I don't know what should be done with them, but I want them to not have any more access to children or anyone else they could hurt. I hope that but it's not just him, it's the whole family, that whole church system that they're in, that whole neighborhood. Whom else he's not the first one. He's not the first one.
Yeah, because normally there's some sort of network where, because those don't just happen out of the blue. Like, you have to fucking hunt and find on his work laptop. That shit is crazy.
But also in those sort of,
he really didn't think he would get caught.
Those sort of communities, they always have those, like, the ones that are super conservative are always the ones that are doing the weirdest shit, and still trying to call on everybody else that, you can't love who you want to love, you can't dress how you want to dress, or use the bathroom you want to use because it's a sin. But look at who's over here actually being the one who's a predator to children and causing children harm. So, fuck you, Duggars.
Miss me with that bullshit.
Oh God, there's so much bullshit. Have you seen this Kanye West situation with someone that used to be on his PR team?
I was confused by it. I tried to wrap my head around what the fuck was going on with this thing, but like I just couldn't. Did you end up figuring this out? What?
Yes. So this woman, her name is Trevion Kuti. She's R. Kelly's ex-publicist and an associate of Kanye West. She went to a Georgia election worker to pressure her to confess to voter fraud allegations a few weeks after the 2020 presidential election. Basically, the woman had been getting, the woman whose name is Ruby Freeman, she had been getting a lot of hate mail and targets from both Trump and far-right websites, saying that she and her daughter took suitcases of fake Biden ballots and put them in to get his victory. That wasn't true. All the ballots were real. So the woman goes to her and she's like, I have some information that you're, under threat. And, if you help me, I can help you, basically. The reason why I saw the story was because it kept saying that Harrison Ford was involved.
Ford was, trending?
But the woman, Trevion, was telling her it was Harrison Floyd, but it looks like the caption was not proper. So it was catching. It wasn't a close interaction, so it just got it wrong. Yeah. But it was Harrison Ford in the caption, but it's Harrison Floyd. She said it was a progressive policymaker or something who was going to help her and get her out safe. And so she said that Harrison Ford could offer her protection And and allegedly the man told Freeman if she confessed to voter fraud, he would offer her legal protection. If she declined, she would go to jail.
From Han Solo.
When they were at the police when they were with police when this happened, so they got it on the body cam. Apparently Freeman told the man the devil is a liar and was like she didn't want anything to do with them. However, this happened, they came to see her on January 4th. The next day, on January 5th, she had to end up leaving her home because the FBI told her it wasn't safe. And then guess what happened that next day on the infamous January 6th? Trump supporters were at the Capitol, and they also had surrounded her house.
Damn, what? They surrounded her.
And so this is what Trevion said to her when she came to see her. She said, I cannot say what specifically will take place. I just know that it will disrupt your freedom and the freedom of one or more of your family members. You are a loose end for a party that needs to be tied up. And so, I mean, now the woman was right. Now, I don't know that the headline keeps saying she was pressuring election workers to confess to voter fraud. But I feel like the headline should be more that the woman was telling her that she was going to be harmed during, some sort of issue that in the next few days, because that's more of what she was doing.
Yeah, it was like a terroristic threat.
Yeah, yes, thank you. So that part was kind of weird. I feel like the framing of it is weird. It is interesting that she is worked for R. Kelly and Kanye, and that. So to me, I'm like, did Kanye know and come tell her to sway the votes to try to get her to safety? That's weird.
Forgetting that Kanye was running for fucking president during that time.
Well, this time he wasn't running for president anymore. He was just more so caping for Trump.
Okay then. All right.
So my thought was that.
Wait, this was 2020?
Yeah.
Oh, this was the Georgia elections.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My thought was that Kanye must have wanted her to go and say she was getting voter fraud so that they would, maybe pay her or whatever, and then they would be able to contest.
You think Ye is involved like that?
He's best.
I'm not saying.
I mean, how would this woman?
It's impossible to fathom.
How would this woman get over to this woman's house? How would Kanye's associate get over to this woman's house? Do you think that Trump would have just hired her for no reason?
I think I'm. She sounds. How do I say this? There's a clear agenda on this fucking thing that's happening right now. I just don't necessarily see that connection being that strong. That's at least there's not a lot of evidence that I could see that being the case. I could fathom that being the case, possibly, but like that's, I don't know, speculative, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that the thing? Yeah.
Well, I think that whatever is happening with this, the woman will get probably arrested.
Yeah.
I think it's a federal crime. She said the FBI was involved, and I'm like, who knows who was at the FBI at that time? Maybe they were involved, but I guess, I don't know. It sounded like she was trying to help her while also.
This is like one of those mafia threats where it's
just
like, it'd be a shame if anything happened to this nice bodega that you have here. It looks really nice. Just a little bit of insurance.
So, speaking more about the Kardashian clan, why do all their men seem to be having such difficult problems? Tristan Thompson has yet another baby with another woman that is not Khloe.
Tristan got a baby. I told you I'd always do that.
I know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen these tweets that have been going around.
No, what are the tweets?
Apparently, now the woman's name is Mara Lee Nichols. She said that she was hacked, or that, like, not that she was hacked, that there are some fake accounts posting up tweets or DMs and things between her and Tristan. and him allegedly saying, this is what he allegedly said in a, it looks like Snapchat messaging. You know how I feel. My feelings haven't changed at all. Won't be involved at all. By the way, if you think having this baby is going to make you some money, it's completely wrong. You are aware that I'm retiring after this season, so in terms of support, it will be whatever is required monthly for someone who's unemployed. It's Texas, so it will only be a couple $100. So you better off taking the $70K I'm offering, because you won't get nothing near that with having a kid with a father who's unemployed. All you will have is a baby with a father who has zero involvement with the child, and a few $100s of child support a month.
Is it that hard to not have sex?
More so, is it that hard to not have sex without any form of birth control, without any contraceptives, without I just feel like at this point in the world, I'm not talking about people who don't have access to healthcare or access to sex to contraceptives and things like that,
mm-hmm.
and or people who are being abused in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Consenting adults who are having sex. How do you keep getting pregnant on the whoopsie daisy? Because we all know how sex happens. And these people, if you're over 30, you definitely know how sex happens if you're having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Or how babies happen if you're having sex. So how do you keep getting pregnant? There's the morning after pill. If you're not in a place that sells the morning after pill, then why don't you use the sponge, the cup, the condom? There's a variety of those. There's spermicide. There's so many different ways to not get pregnant that I'm so confused as to why those of you do still do it. You can even, what is it called? Is it arachnia oil? There's natural remedies as well. There's so many ways that you could just keep it locked up.
Wasn't there somebody who we were talking about not too long ago who was supposedly saying that it's easy to get this money just because basketball players are stupid or something? Weren't we talking about?
Are you talking about what's her name going to the NFL to the Jackson State? Brittany Griner or something like that?
I think that might be her name or something.
Is that Brittany Griner?
Did we talk about this?
No, but I saw it.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. I might have talked about this with my family. That might have been where I talked. Yeah, we have these kind of conversations in the licorice household.
I mean, I think that if you're a celebrity and you are capable of impregnating somebody, that you should be mindful of how you're just slinging your thing around.
Mm-hmm. Slinging that sling box.
Wear a condom. Get some spermicide. Make sure make sure if you have sex. I don't know what you could do, but there are ways. And I hope that this message that he sent her isn't true, because that's something really shady to say about your unborn child, especially because they didn't ask to be here. But at this point, I don't really doubt that he would say something as shitty as that. And I'm sure, Chris is going to have somebody's story to get Pete Davidson to propose to Kim or something like that in the next few days, so that we stop talking about how embarrassing this man is to her child. So we'll see. And in more embarrassing Kardashian men news, Travis Scott had his first interview post the Astroworld fiasco
with Charlamagne the God.
Did you watch?
Yes, I did.
I watched, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much to say. I don't really want to spend much time on talking about this.
Okay.
But I'm curious of your thoughts. Your thoughts. You go first.
Oh no, that was the easiest layup conversation I've ever seen. It's basically not that hard when it comes to probing questions. Every question was set up so that Travis could he basically was speaking as if he has an open case, and he does have an open case. It was basically everything from a legal standpoint to say, yeah, I'm not taking any accountability or accepting any accountability or even saying that I was responsible in any way, shape, or form. But it's all about the vibes. Like, we didn't know about
How
the
many
vibes.
times did he say feelings? Did he say healing community? Did he say, like, I just was
we
like,
create music that's filled with joy.
he said
it was filled with joy.
He said, I'm a man of God. And my music reflects that. Where? And I'm not even the type of person who's like, a Christian has to behave like this or that.
Mm-hmm.
Your music, first of all, is scary.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to it because I find it scary. So I don't, and I'm not like.
just that one tune in what is that song that he has with Drake that was everywhere like 2 years ago?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was sun is down, physical.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was Travis Scott.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And your videos are weird. I never would have wanted to go to a
Sicko
concert.
mode. That's what
There
it
it
is.
is.
Sicko mode.
So joyful and light. I definitely wouldn't have ever wanted to see you perform live because I've seen clips of your concerts and they are very, very violent. And I would never want to do that.
He tells people he's like, yo, where are my ragers at? Like, let's rage. Like, no offense, but like the action that is also an emotion cannot be considered a joyful experience. Like, we're just creating like a happy experience for everybody. That's the main goal. Double down on security, I guess, moving forward. And I'm sending light and love to the families.
That he said to make sure that people are okay moving forward, he's going to have to up his call and response.
Yeah. The call and response of, hey, where are my ragers?
What? What is the call? They were calling and responding to you. They were saying, stop, help, people are dying. So I'm not sure what other call and response you want to have. Or better yet, well, we should actually give everyone these magical bracelets that tracks. We should give everyone smart watches.
When he started describing smartwatches as far as like something that we should do, I lost my mind. I lost it. It's just like, are you for real right now, buddy? He really.
How much are you going to charge for your show?
He is hoping that this interview can be submitted as like a character witness thing of just like, at the end of the day, I'm just a good guy. Like, this is his I'm a good guy interview. And Charlamagne led the way as far as letting him off the hook, as far as like not.
Of course, you let him off the hook.
Pressing questions.
I mean, Charlamagne.
All of it was softball shit.
I'm very confused as to how he keeps getting larger and larger, as if he is still not alleged. Well, I do know why he's allowed to still be as big as he is. But he is an alleged participant and also, I don't know if you could say a voyeur of sexual assault. He has admitted to himself on his Brilliant Idiots podcast. It's come out several times in the news.
And it'll keep coming out.
It's going to keep coming out, but every time it does,
away.
I'm just like, why does he keep getting these deals to, like, who is his agent? Because obviously.
I think the media doesn't understand that, like, black people, we have journalism degrees. Like, there are college and, like, there are college degree holders.
Yes.
And master's holders in the field of journalism that can do interviews and conduct interviews and be probing and ask the right questions and do all of the research and do all of the, background checking and then formulating an interesting interview with. It doesn't always have to be Charlamagne interviewing.
It doesn't have to
these
really
people.
ever be him, but, unless it's an entertainment interview, he's an entertainment reporter or entertainment journalist. I mean, I don't believe just because you didn't go to J school that you can't do that.
You can't do it just because. I'm saying that it doesn't always have to fall. It's just like a few years ago when you remember a few years back when it felt like all the roles were going straight to Michael B. Jordan and that there were no other black males in Hollywood?
It's just that
it kind of that's what I'm saying.
I know that. I know you're
other
not saying that
journalists.
there's anything wrong with being self-trained or self-taught, but I think that there's sometimes there are things that going to school can teach you.
Okay.
How to navigate certain questions or certain trainings. They have investigative reporter trainings in general for a reason, and yet we are here giving these coveted interview spaces to people who are not actually interviewing. They're just asking questions. There's no reason that you could say, "Oh, but you're asking a question about your music being demonic," and then you say, "My songs are full of joy." You could pick any of his songs and been like, "But in your song, da 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 da,
Highest in the room,
like this is what it's saying."
Goosebumps.
In your other,
Just the titles alone. I'm sorry.
like in plenty of your songs, your main thing is saying, like, your main thing of coming on stage is telling people to come out and rage. Yeah. And he never once mentioned the time during that concert when he said, "Y'all want me to stop? I'm not going to fucking stop." We saw that. It was there streaming. Everyone shared it. So I'm just like, I'm confused. I never want to see another thing about this Astro World again unless it's him paying these people the $10 billion that they want. Like, I don't
want to see that documentary that disappeared out of nowhere.
Oh,
like, I'm curious what was like. I don't think it was that something was in it. I think it was that it was taken down because it was too soon. But
well, I
am still curious about it.
My friend watched it and said it was less of a documentary and more just a 2020 news show.
A news thing.
But I think that so
coverage.
many people don't watch the news that they had to call it a documentary, which perhaps. But I would be interested in seeing it, what new insights that they might have found. But I definitely don't think it should be framed as a documentary. It should just be like this. We just are investigating into the thing.
Yeah,
this is what we've learned.
Investigative report.
Because I feel like it's been weird when they are doing documentaries about people who are or things that are just happening. Mm-hmm. I don't need any documentary into the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. It's not stopped. Like, you giving me something about Dr. Fauci. He's still doing the job. Why are we portfolioing? Why are we profiling a man who's currently in the job?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, case is ongoing. We'll see how that goes.
And last but not least, there is one case that is finalized.
Speaking of cases, yep.
Did you hear about the Juicy Smollett case?
I have. He's guilty.
Yes, he was found guilty on 5 of 6 counts of disorderly conduct. They're going to appeal it because his lawyer basically says that because he was not charged on all 6 charges. They're like, they don't feel like it was fair, and that they're saying he didn't lie. He's vehement about that. It was a very interesting trial because, one, we find out that Juicy and one of the guys who attacked him, he alleges that they were doing drugs and masturbating together. But the other side was saying that didn't happen and that he paid them to beat him up. But he says he was paying them for some illegal Nigerian steroids. So much happening.
Such a weird case. Such a very, very weird case. And I mean, they can appeal all they want, but just like the stories just didn't add up from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. How are you gonna get fucking bleach sprayed all over you when it's like fucking -13 degrees outside and shit like that? Like, it it was a weird story. It's a weird outcome. It's a weird case. It's all fucking weird.
I mean, it's interesting because, I always say it doesn't matter whether or not, it's not that we don't want black people to be, charged with crimes. We just want them to be able to be alive to face whatever the consequences are. And the Black Lives Matter, LA has been like really showing him support, and they're like, as abolitionists, we approach situations of injustice with love and align ourselves with our community because we got us. So let's be clear, we love everybody in our community. It's not about a trial or a verdict decided in a white supremacist charade. It's about how we treat our community when corrupt systems are working to devalue their lives. In an abolitionist society, this trial would not be taking place, and our communities would not have to fight and suffer to prove our worth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a bit confused by that statement. I'm not really sure it works here. I mean, I will say that there are definitely plenty of times where white people have created false statements and they never went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what's her name, Central Park 5 lady.
Mm-hmm.
That was, technically it wasn't false. It was just she picked the wrong people, but it wasn't correct. There are plenty of people who have said somebody has stolen their children, broken into their house. How many white people remember they were writing blacks rule and black power on their lawns and their cars and things. They didn't get arrested. They might have gotten a fine, but they didn't get like put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's like, does this need to be a him going to jail situation? No. This is where we have restorative justice. If it's that he has to do community service or whatever, fine. But I definitely don't think he needs to be going to jail. No one really got hurt. Who know? I don't know what happened with the two black men, if they had to like do a plea deal or whatever. But it's time to move on now. There are way more things happening. That Giselle Gillian, I do not know how to pronounce her name. Giselle Maxwell, the woman who was an accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein. Her trial is going on. A lot of young women have been, testifying against the terrible things that she was helping him do.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer here, but she is. So we need to make sure that whatever these consequences that need to happen and restitution that needs to be paid to these young women, that it's happening. So I mean, those are the cases we should be focusing on, not this one, which is like, yeah, what he did was shitty. If he lied about it, that's shitty. I don't feel like it needs to be a DEFCON 5, situation. It's just like, make him pay whatever he needs to pay, do community service, and there is the restitution to society.
Mm-hmm.
And let's move on.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. That's all the things that I saw this week. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, we're going to be RB so that Maurice can call his dad.
Yes, I will be right back. We will both be right back with more of the Black and Sturdy podcast.
Bye.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
All right, call your dad back.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
And we're back with more of the Black and Sturdy podcast.
I thought you were going to sing or something.
Oh, no, I can't. You know what? I don't have a song in me right now. Yeah, like, if I did, I would have bust one out right now, but I don't know. I'm not really in a musical mood.
Really?
Yeah, no, there's no real music in my heart right now. And,
okay.
I mean, that we might want to go ahead and, slide right on into, the mental health check-in. This is the time period where we check in with each other to see where we are at with our mental health and self-care. So, how have you been doing, my friend?
I will say I've been a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the top of the show, I've been having a lot of lethargy, Been trying to get things done. And just I've been sleeping a lot. Which is on one hand I was really burnt out from work.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I feel like I'm too tired, if that makes sense.
How so?
Like, I don't feel like I should be sleeping so much.
Mm-hmm.
I did talk to my therapist about it to see, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm depressed. I have no idea. You know, I'm not good.
I mean, it is a sign of depression to have zero energy and sleeping all the time and stuff like that. That's like textbook 101,
I know.
like description of depression.
And we always talk about this. We always talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm always just like, I really don't know. I really don't. I wish I could tell better for myself, but I don't know what's going on. I'm just, I'm here. I'm just trying to make it. I'm thriving during this pajama jammy jam, best as can be, and I'm just trying to be grateful for that. I also, but this week have been really grappling with feelings of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Just about different things, life, career, XYZ. And I'm trying to remind myself to not let what anyone else thinks about me worry me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, my opinion matters more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's been the bulk of it. I've just been feeling a bit anxious. Yeah, and I definitely need to get I have to get my like Medicare and all that taken care of so I can try to finally get a psychiatrist, because that's been kind of difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I'm just gonna try to be as proactive as I can on that, because I feel like medication, I have been without it for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely stressful.
Right. That sounds stressful. So I hope that within the next week or so, or just like in the sooner rather than later, all the stars can align so that you're feeling better and your bright, exuberant self.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
How have you been? How was your week?
My week has been almost kind of the same. Like I've had I haven't been able to sleep for reasons that I'll probably get into with the things that make me happy. But yeah, I've just been having trouble sleeping at night. I didn't get to sleep until 5:00 this morning. And even then I couldn't even really sleep because I had a 9:30 meeting. Yeah, so like I took a nap earlier in the day, but otherwise I have just not been feeling the most exuberant, I would say. Like I've been kind of lower in my lulls. Even hard for me to say that word. Yeah, in my lulls. But I mean, like, I'm taking my I'm taking my medication, and I talked to my therapist earlier this week. Maybe it's nerves for what's new in my life, and just trying to get myself acclimated to that. But it's about the journey, not the destination. Like I'm taking my time with it.
It's interesting that we both kind of were talking about similar things, because it directly correlates to what I wanted to talk to you about this week. Something called pandemic brain. And so basically these scientists have been studying this phenomena called pandemic brain, which people are saying has been making it harder for them to focus. And Jenny Stolwell, who's a social and behavioral scientist and an assistant professor of instruction at the College of Public Health in Temple, she said that it's a cognitive impairment that the whole world has been going through because it's triggered by things like stress.
Mhm.
Some of us had major stressful events happen, but we also have these micro stressors happening continuously. And because the pandemic has just like disrupted our lives completely, it's changed the way our bodies cope. So she said that pandemic brain is actually your brain adapting to the new situation the best way it can. Unfortunately, because we went from being really dynamic and moving around, interacting with people,
And high stimulus and everything.
to complete shutdown, it manifests as feeling apathetic, tired, or depressed. So like that awkwardness you feel, but also sense of being unfamiliar with reality, or it could be that people feel really silly, like they don't remember how to pump gas or how to interact with people. So it's just very different, and one of those things is like maintaining focus, maintaining your memory, completing tasks. To me it feels like executive function disorder, because those are like a lot of the things with executive function, not really knowing where to start, how to finish, and have, of course, ADHD, there's a lot of focus situations and, memory issues. So it sounds like those things, which to me, when I read it, made me think like perhaps I should give myself a little bit more grace. Because if the problems of pandemic brain are similar to the problems of just being neurodivergent in general, specifically having ADHD, then not saying like, oh, that's why I haven't been able to do X, but I feel like these are things that I feel like I'm feeling more now. And of course, I've been reading and talking to different people who have ADHD, and they are feeling sometimes the struggles of ADHD more, being at home in some ways. For the most part, people are enjoying being able to not have the stressors of work that come like with distraction, stuff like that. So being at home is helpful. But some of those things, like being at home, but being only at home, I don't know about for you, but for me, it just it adds to my lethargy. So I'm curious if you feel like you have some pandemonium brain going on.
I feel like to some extent, I definitely had it more strongly last year, because I was cooped up in such a you had seen my apartment at the time period. There wasn't really a lot of space, a lot of
It was more of a room.
Yeah, but it was a room essentially, and they're just imagine 365 days out of the year being spent in that room, working, socializing, doing basically everything. Just from that room, like it's crazy. Like it's enough to change the way that it was the new normal.
Yeah.
So it was enough to change the way your brain operated. So yeah, I fully agree with it.
I feel like there are things that we could probably do to help. These are some things that she says. She said like cutting back on screen time, and to give ourselves grace because we're relearning how to, behave. But sometimes she's like taking breaks for yourself. I did find some other doctors who were talking to BuzzFeed about this situation, and they said that we don't really know what is causing the pandemic brain, so they can't really pinpoint how you can change it, because like perhaps social isolation, perhaps it's the fact that we're not moving so much, so it's you kind of just have to try a few different things to see. So they suggest maybe some supplements, see about doing meditation or yoga, thinking about what your lifestyle situations is. Are you drinking a lot of alcohol? Perhaps you're smoking a lot of weed. Perhaps you're eating a lot of junk food, and then you're also sitting down, and you're not really moving so much. So what are other things that you're doing throughout the day? Because I think that definitely plays a part. I know for me, sometimes the only time I get out throughout the day is when I walk Brooklyn, which is maybe, depending on the day and how busy I could be, it's 15 and how cold it is. Like now, we're going out 15, 30 minutes. That's tops because it's so cold.
Yeah.
More so, it's too cold for him to be outside that long. So that's 15, 20 minutes maybe. Then if I go get coffee, if I go to Dunkin' Donuts, 5-10 minute walk max. So it's like we kind of need to force ourselves to be outside and do something, getting fresh air, so we are not just being stuck inside. So I think that we should both keep an eye on each other, that we're doing something outside. I think we should at least an hour of a day. And we're so close to each other that we could walk and meet up at the park and walk around. I know you hate walking and I know you hate the cold, but I'm just saying those are things that can be done. And to have an accountability buddy, something, somehow, I'd walk with you.
I know you'll walk with me. Like, that's not the question. I'll say we'll see. I make no promises at
Once
this
in a
point.
while. Once in a while, we should just go for a walk.
Maybe.
And just get out there. Not on any days where there's any precipitation. Nothing where we're freezing our toes and tushies off.
We'll see.
Just like a little brisk walk.
A brisk walk. We'll see.
But I think that everyone should just be mindful of that, because
I'm open-minded.
there's a lot of things going on for us, and I think that we really need to be paying attention to our bodies, to our minds, to our souls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that we are just doing the best that we can.
Right.
Were there anything mental health that you thought about this week that you wanted to share?
Nope, not at all. I think that's pretty much everything as far as the mental health section.
All right. Well,
which means that it's about that time we get our gripes out.
Bring it! What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm pissed. Somebody stole a package of mine.
Yeah,
Already. And I know it happened because it was literally within an hour window that it happened. Because like I was on my way out to go to my friend's house. I'm watching his cat while he's out on vacation with his fiance. So I walked over to his place to get the keys and to, him show me where the cat food is and everything like that, And unfortunately, and I should have thought about this when it happened. I went upstairs to see the mail area to see if I had some mail. I saw that I had a package. Unfortunately for me, I did not have a book bag on me, and I didn't I should have, as soon as I saw it, I should have taken it down with me. But I thought I lived in an area where I didn't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, which is ironic because of the name of the street that I live on. Anyhow,
that's true.
But I saw the package and I said, I'll get it when I come back. An hour passes, I come back, package is gone. It is nowhere to be found. And the worst part is, I don't even know, because right now my mom is sending me packages of all the things, just basically, she's being the greatest mom in the world by sending me a bunch of packages. So I don't have the tracking numbers for any of these packages. There's just so many of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You'll have to wait until everything comes until you can see which things aren't there.
Exactly. So
yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's extremely annoying. But I'm just annoyed with that. That pissed me off, quite frankly. And I'm hoping that somehow through the goodness of somebody's heart, they realize that maybe this was a mistake and they simply put it back. But
I will
it's not
also
gonna
hope
happen.
that for you, because that same thing happened to one of my neighbors today. When I went to walk Brooklyn, I walked out and I'm coming back in. I went to go get some coffee, and the guy was out there, and he was like, "Hey, did you see a package up here?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, he had taken his dog out after me, and he had just come back, and he was like, the thing was there when he left, and he just came back and it was gone. And he literally just went around the block.
Yeah.
So 15 minutes max.
And mind you, whatever's in the package is probably not anything like valuable or anything like that. It's probably just some simple shit, man.
They don't care. That's what, and it always makes me worried. I mean, the thing is, wherever
Probably
you
get
live,
some Brita filters or some shit, like something
like you
mad
never know
ordinary.
when someone's gonna, because people will use that and they can sell it for anything. They are gonna find a way.
Barter system is happening with my goddamn packages.
I'm not gonna say, but there are barters that are made all the time.
Well, that's everything from. Oh, you know what? And also, as a side note, we gotta get a new. This is not a system, but this is specifically for New York real estate. Do not rent a room in an apartment. Just don't do it, because if the person who has that it's one thing if the person who has that apartment and has a name on the lease and stuff, that's one thing. It's a totally different thing when it's the person themselves who are subletting the room or giving you the room or what have you, or changing it over. Don't do it, because guess what? Then when you want to move out, you're the one who's going to have to find motherfuckers to come get your room. And these motherfuckers flake. They spread out their time so that it's inconvenient for you to have to go and help them view the thing. They want fucking virtual viewing, so it's like they want to see what it looks like, and you still have to be there. I am almost at my credit limit just from all the lifts that I've had to take, going back and forth and paying for trains, paying for train fares and shit like that. Man, I'm about to get an unlimited just for the week. Just because that's how many fucking trips I'm gonna be taking with this bullshit.
So it's weird that your apartment does that, because
you would think the onus is on the people who are left over to.
Yeah, because I feel
find
like for my friends, I thankfully have never lived in a place where there was a bunch of people. But even when my old roommate left, the onus wasn't on him to find a new person. It was me.
Yeah.
Like when my first roommate left, she told me she was leaving with
Mm-hmm.
enough time where I could find somewhere else or decide to move somewhere I wanted to be. And I don't know why. Like other places I know where people have had multiple roommates, it'll be like a courtesy to let me see who I can find. But if you don't find anyone, everybody just gotta divvy up whatever they were paying for those few months. And just, everybody try to find a roommate so that you don't have to have it all on one person.
It's so ridiculous, and I'm so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have to, but I have to until the time comes.
I feel like you could do something where you could be like, hey, I'm going to be at work from such and such a time, but this person was a virtual tour. Are you going to be home to give it to them?
I'm basically going to be there this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I'm going to be working. Basically, I'm going to be working from my old apartment on Monday. That's essentially what's happening. Yeah. So that's where we are, and that's everything for me. What about you? What's chafing you?
I will say one, and just in general, I'm sick of people and their nasty attitudes. Trying to one up and be rude to you just because they think they can. No, be respectful. It's the bare minimum.
I agree. I wasn't about to say it. I was about to say be respectful. Be respectful. Be respectful.
All right. Okay.
Respectful. But I agree with you.
Thank you. Second thing, I don't remember if you know. about Marcus Houston's child bride.
I did hear that story, yes.
If you didn't know, Marcus Houston is currently 40. His wife is currently 20. I think they got married. Was it 2019? I think she was 18 when they got married.
I thought she was 19. Not that it matters, but
I don't remember.
Very young.
She might have been 19. He alleges that they met in 2018 during a Jehovah's Witness convention. The internet alleges that they met earlier than that, which no one's been able to confirm or deny. But it's like she's still 20 and he's still 40, which is a crazy huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, honestly, after someone's 25, I rarely think so much about their choices in dating. But I think before that, it's still very predatory.
Yeah.
For you to be that much older than someone. And so they had a baby. The baby's name is Zara. And this is how you know that she's this. I'm just going to read this for you so you can get an understanding of how young this woman is.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby's name is Zara, and they asked him. I'm on the shade room. They asked him, why they chose Zara, and he said that Maya chose the daughter's name because she felt it was exotic. Yes.
Really?
Yes, but that's the answer you would think of a 20-year-old.
Yeah. No other depth other than just how it sounds, how it hits the ear.
It's exotic.
It's not exotic. There's like a bunch of Zara's stores.
It's not exotic. You are correct. But to a 20-year-old, I'm sure it is if you haven't seen anything in the world. And then he goes, let me make sure I have the right one. That's not the right quote. Maya is a 21-year-old mother, but handles motherhood like she's been a mom forever.
Ew.
She's such a natural. Oh, God. I hate this, but
unless this is the olden days when people used to die at 21 and 27, like I don't think there's a naturalness to how anybody can act if they are giving birth at 21,
But I think that what bothers me is not so much him being gross. It's that there are all these different sites, like, showing us this family and their baby. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with that girl. I hope her all the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that baby all the best in the world. Him, not so much.
Right.
And I don't think that we need to be showcasing these kind of weird predatory relationships as if they're cool.
Because he can be in all the pictures and they could look all nice and family. Like, he's a predator.
I mean,
of some
we
kind.
know
On some spectrum.
We know about the allegations against Chris Stokes.
Yes.
That involve Immature, B2K,
IMX.
That's Immature.
No, I know, but
yes, but I mean all of them, literally all of them, and many other people who were involved in that. Any big group that was involved with them at that time is like hoping that they were okay, because there are a lot of investigations and allegations, and we don't know what's going on. So we can assume that if those rumors are true, that Marcus also had something going on with him, with Chris Stokes. So I can understand and empathize him being a survivor, perhaps. Mm. That does not mean that I can accept or condone him also being a predator. And I think that when there's smoke, there's fire. And this is just a very weird situation, because there was one point her mom had said she was missing. It was a lot going on, so much. I just hope this young girl is okay. I hope the baby is okay. I want them to all be happy and healthy. I just wish that people would stop bigging up this relationship as if it's something normal, because it's not.
Yeah.
And, 20 years old, people have babies at 20 years old all the time. That's going to happen. But, at least let it be a age-appropriate relationship.
Right.
Even if he was 29, 30, I would be like, that's weird. At a certain point, when someone is dating someone of a certain age, you're looking at them like, what's going on? Why? If at 26, 27 years old, if any of my friends said they were dating an 18 or a 19-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
we would have been like, what? What are you talking about? That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a child. Why are you dating that person? They can't even go to brunch with us. So why are you dating them?
They can't even go to brunch with us. That's true. Yeah.
You can't go to brunch with me. You can't even go to some clubs with me if you're not 23 in New York. Or sometimes they push it to 25.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't even go out together. So why would we be together? I mean,
your realm of knowledge and shared pop culture history is not matched up.
it's not. I mean,
Or even frame of reference, I should say.
I'm
not pop
32.
Culture, just frame of reference isn't there.
I'm 32, and I think that at this age, I could date someone who's 50
Mm-hmm.
or 55 without it being necessarily weird, because we're both grown-ups. But the weirdness for me
You
is
are grown-ups, and y'all have been grown-ups for a significant
time.
amount of time.
So, if I date a 50-year-old, that person might have more established credit history and maybe a house, something like that. But it is not going to cause me... It's not the same power dynamic as when you are a 22-year-old and a 30, 40, 50-plus person.
Yeah.
But the reason why, for me, dating someone that much older than me has never really been appealing, and I have that 5-year gap or 5-year age limit, is because I want to be able to have the same kind of cultural references with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, even if I think about 5 years under me, those cultural references are going to be different. I wasn't watching Hannah Montana for real. I watched it because I was bored and there wouldn't have been anything else on. But the kids that are people who are 5 years younger than us were watching Hannah Montana for real.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those things they might overlap with me, but they weren't my thing.
Yeah.
So it's when it comes to music, TV, all those type of things, what are we going to be overlapping with? If it's not really that interesting, why would I want to do that? And so I think about a 20-year age difference when you're that young, you just literally left teenage years. It's just what are we, in the 1600s? You couldn't find a woman your age. It's you couldn't find a woman within a 10-year age range of you. You can't tell me that. Because a 30-year-old woman will be just as natural of a mother as a 21-year-old.
Right. It's crazy. It's weird. It's disgusting, and it's
I mean, honestly,
but I mean, hopefully that baby is all good and Gucci. Here's hoping that the baby's Gucci, taken care of, and everything like that.
Only thing I care about is the baby and her mother.
Yeah.
Everybody else, go fuck themselves. But that's it. That's all I got. Those are the only things that were pissing me off.
Yeah. Okay. So if that's the only thing that's pissing you off, and that's the only thing
Let's
that's
go to
pissing
my
me off,
favorite time of the podcast.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I love your baby for you.
Ugh,
such a good song.
such a good song.
Yeah, and it lifts me up every single time. You want to start us off with what's making you happy?
Okay. Well, this fun fact made me very happy. And thank you to Twitter for telling me about it. Did you know that former First Lady Nancy Reagan was known as the throat goat of her time. And I'm going to read you this excerpt.
No way.
According to Kitty Kelly's biography, Nancy Reagan was renowned in Hollywood for performing oral sex. Just Say Yes, Nancy, in the days when she was Nancy Davis, was known to give the best blowjob in town, not only in the evening, but in offices. That was one of the reasons that she was very popular on the MGM lot. It must have made her very popular with Ronnie as well.
The throat. Well, I mean, when is this a cheap shot? Like saying, like, well, when he remembered.
Wow.
Hey, he's not my president. Fuck him. Fuck Ronald Reagan.
Well, this information all came to light on Twitter because this person tweeted a picture of Nancy Reagan against Madonna at this, like, being around the same age. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we talked about Madonna and her BBL.
Her BBL. She had. That actually is not surprising. She's being held together with duct tape at this point.
She had a BBL, and it's not even about her having a BBL. It's just not one of the good ones. So, she's been flaunting it with different pictures and posts and stuff like that. So this woman named Classically Abby on Twitter tweeted a picture of Madonna compared to a picture of Nancy Reagan and her family at 63 and 64 respectively. It said trashy living versus classic living. Which version of yourself do you want to be? And so then someone replied with that, and it's been the people finding out that Nancy Reagan was given the Gok 3000 has really lit the Twitter world on fire. I love it.
Can we call it that from now on?
The Gok 3000?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yay.
And my other thing that made me so happy this week was the season premiere of And Just Like That.
How was it?
Did
it take you back?
I cried. I cringed. It did take me back. It did. But not so much where it's like it was trying to be Sex in the City. Mm-hmm. It definitely is these women at this stage of their life where they're still who they are, but also, however many now is, what is it? How many decades? 2, maybe? 1 or 2 decades after? It's like, they're in their 50s. They have different relationships. They have children who are different ages. Brady, I'm going to tell you right now, Brady needs a punch in the face. I'm going to tell you that right now. Brady needs a punch in the face. Lily, amazing. Gorgeous. I want to tell you right now, I love what they're doing with Rose. I love it. And I want
just off of one episode?
Yes. Just off of one. I'm loving her energy already. I'm hoping that they give her like a non-binary, maybe just another queer storyline. Because I think that getting to see a parent like Charlotte having to come to terms with that sort of relationship or that sort of change in their child because of the things, that they were brought up with themselves would be very, very interesting to watch and hopefully helpful to other people, because at the end of the day, a lot of white women love this show.
Yes, they do.
A lot of black women, me, love the show. But I think that a lot of white women love the show, and so the more that they can see people who look like them, doing things like them, thinking in different ways, I think that's great. I think that Sex and the City, although problematic in some ways, did help usher in new levels of thought for women who would not have ever had any experience of it. So I thought they did a great job. I want to fight the writer room and whoever made decisions, because there's some things I'm very upset about, which you will watch. and tell me about how you felt about it.
Yeah, I will.
But I can't wait to rewatch the first 2 episodes because I thought they did a very good job.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of making it modern, but still getting the feel of the old series.
Cool. And is there anything else?
Besides doing this podcast with you.
As for me, I moved this week.
Nope.
Nope. Oh yeah, actually. My bad. Sorry. I thought it was a new configuration.
How do you feel being the newest renter of your own apartment?
I gotta be honest with you. I'm still in that mode where I'm getting settled.
Okay. How does it feel to know that you're the only one using the toilet?
Oh my God, that is heavenly! And all the... I don't have to worry about the toilet clogging. I don't have to worry about toilet paper going missing. I don't have to worry about toilet paper getting used on a regular basis.
Yep.
I can literally, I just bought toilet paper in bulk, and I was, well, not to get too personal, but I was extremely surprised with how at the end of this week, how much toilet paper I still had left. Because it's not just going through rolls one today or some shit like that. God, it's so great not hearing certain like onomatopoeias and clogging and everything like that.
Clomping through the building.
Clomping. I don't hear clomping. I will say this, like the first night was a little bit terrifying because I didn't hear anything. Like I'm so used to hearing something, and I don't have a TV in my room. So just hearing nothing, just hearing like it's very quiet in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So like shout out to my neighborhood for being quiet.
It is, even though you're near a busy area, but that area is generally pretty quiet.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm enamored.
I love your apartment. I think it's super
And
cute.
other than packages not being delivered to me, otherwise it's fucking fantastic.
I think your apartment's great, and I'm very happy for you. This is a great new step, and you're just going to continue doing great things. So we love to see you shine.
Yay, we love to see you shine. I feel like that was a McDonald's commercial, right?
Maybe.
Quote.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyhow, but that's basically everything that's going on with me, and that's everything going on in my world as far as the things that made me happy. If that's everything, I think we can go in for the close.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in for another week. And I'm so excited to speak with you again next week.
Yes, we will be back again. And until then, take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's That'sOD_THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.